Okay, so I'm going to try and do a beginning to end on eSword. Seems like a lot of people have found it a little intimidating, I guess. So we're going to download and install. All right, so we are installing. And as you can see, it's completely free. They do have a donate button if you guys want to help them out. Let's see. I kind of assumed it would start up, but it didn't. So let's open her up. Okay. And it reinstalled everything that I already have. Okay, so I must not have uninstalled it correctly. Well, let's see if I can get it back to what it would look like in the beginning. So in the beginning, you're definitely going to be on something like this. So the first thing I do is go to display settings and go to low light so I can not blind myself. You will only have the KJV and the KJV Plus, and you might start with TSK cross references in your commentaries. I'm not sure about that, but you can go to download. I like to start with Bibles, and then anything that you currently have will be blacked out, and then anything that you can download will be in blue and have like a link you can click on. So personally, I use the scriptures whenever I read. I don't have anything against the King James version. In fact, I use it a lot, and that's what you're going to start with anyway. So you don't really need to get rid of it. I do like a literal translation, whether you get Young's literal translation or the Bible in Basic English, or if you get the regular literal translation. Other than that, let's see, I've got the ESV. Some people like it. And I've got the Berean Study Bible. And then, the King James with the Apocrypha. You can get that, or the Douay-Rheims, I think it's the Catholic Bible. So it'll have the Apocrypha in it as well, or some of it anyway. And then it'll have some premium stuff you have to pay for. The Geneva Bible's fairly decent as well. Let's see, for the Greek and Hebrew, I don't remember. Okay, yeah, you'll have to go to the Greek section. So you've got the Greek New Testament, Textus Receptus, which is what the King James Version is. You can also get the Septuagint, pretty helpful. I thought I had it. Oh, I've got the Brenton Septuagint. That's what it is. Must be in a different section. Where is the Brentons? Oh, there it is. Brenton's English. That's why it's in the English, but not in the Greek. That's why I'm mistaken. And then for the Hebrew, I have the Hebrew Old Testament Tanakh. It should show that I have the regular Hebrew Old Testament as well, but maybe I don't. It's hard to read without the Strong's numbers anyway. So anyways, commentaries. The Geneva notes are pretty interesting. I've got just random notes. The Biblical Illustrator is pictures, but you'll definitely want the TSK cross-references. This will help cross-reference any verse you're reading. And dictionary, Brown Driver Briggs, and the Strongs. I mean, I downloaded a few other ones, but I rarely use them, so it's up to you. They've got some devotionals, a bunch of graphics that you can grab, but they're they don't scale well on the computer. Like when you go to look at them, I can show you guys that here in a minute. And I don't think I have any reference books. But anyway, there's all sorts of free stuff that you can download. And then once you click on it, it'll add it down here. It'll tell you how big it is and how long it takes. And then everything that you do will work offline. So you won't actually need the internet to use anything. So whether you're using this offline or on a stream, at least it's using less internet. So anyways, once you click on them, they'll all down here, and then you'll have to wait for them to finish. And then a little pop-up will say, you'll need to restart eSword for everything to take effect. And then it should bring you back to here whenever you finish downloading everything and restart. And I'm pretty sure all of these are just tiles that you can just drag around and make smaller and bigger and all that good stuff. And then, let's see. For some of the Hebrew, I think you have to download a specific font. Let's see if I've got that. Deja Vu Sans. Maybe that's the one that you have to download. I don't remember. But there is a specific font that you need for the Greek and the Hebrew to show the correct characters. Otherwise, it'll just show like one of those boxes. Let's see. Seems like there's another setting that I'm forgetting. I do have the red letters on. I'm not sure what the periscope is. And then you can turn off the chapter settings somewhere as well. Okay, so here's where you can turn off your resources. If you get too many or if you just end up not liking them, you can turn them off or delete them. It'll show all your resources that you've downloaded. Man, I feel like there's something I'm missing here. Okay, here's your graphics viewer. So yeah, they really don't scale well. And you can't zoom in. Or I guess you kind of can, but I don't know. It's definitely not as intuitive as I'd like it to be. So, not sure. Anyways, that's the graphics viewer. You can get some maps and stuff like that. So, anything with a plus sign in the title, like the Greek Old Testament or the Greek New Testament or the ESV, is going to have the Strong's numbers in it. And you can just hover over it, and it will show you what the word is in the original language, whether it's Greek or Hebrew, and then it'll tell you about it, how many times it's used, all that good stuff. And then you can right-click on it and do a search for it, and so you can search through whatever section you want, or you could just click on the word, and then it will appear in your dictionary. It'll do all that. This might be unpinned whenever you first start, so just depending on how it's set up at the beginning, but at least this will be a little bit of a tutorial on how everything works. And then if you click on a verse, and the TSK cross-reference will show you all of the verses that cross-reference with the verse that you have selected. And then you can pretty much just hover over anything. So if I go back to the regular KJV and I hover over it, it won't have the Strong's numbers. So the Strong's, these are more for study. You can read through this, and then whenever you get to an interesting part, click on the verse that you want, go over to the next one. You can see that this is, 3650. If you need to look at it, you can go over into the New Testament and then look for 3650. It's going to be right here, so then you can actually see the Greek and how it would actually appear. And then this will I forgot my mic thinks it isn't working, so it shuts off. So this will even show the tense and how the word is used and all of that good stuff, tell you everything about it. So that can be really helpful, determining who's being spoken to and all that good stuff. So I think that's, in all actuality, I really only use the TSK. Obviously I read the KJV whenever I'm, online, but whenever, it's me and my people, this is the one that we read. And it just, kind of gives the cross references in. It actually is a KJV, but instead of, using Lord and God, they use like the actual name, and they don't even tell you what the name is. You can pronounce it however you want. And then Elohim, which is the Hebrew term rather than, the made up term. So there really isn't any difference between the Scriptures 2009 and the KJV. They just update the names and use some of the Hebrew. And then 5 letters is Jesus. At the Yod, Hey, Vav, Shin, Ayin. And then, where was it down here? Seems like we had just the 4. I lost it. Here we go. Yod, Hey, Vav, Hey. There's the Tetragrammaton. So that's how you can tell them apart. 4 letters is the Father, 5 letters is Jesus. And let's see. I'm thinking that is basically it. Yeah. I would recommend getting an English Septuagint because sometimes the verses are completely different. I'll have to look this verse up real quick. It's Josiah keeps Passover. 2 Chronicles 35. I don't know why I was thinking 24. So this will show you how the differences can be. So here's the regular King James. In the 18th year of the reign of Josiah was this Passover kept. But if you look at it in the Septuagint, this verse is an entire paragraph. So depending on how you feel about the Septuagint, but either way, sometimes it's interesting to know just the historical context. So yeah, I guess if you guys have any questions on eSword, feel free to make a comment and I can maybe do an updated video later, considering this was not as complete start to finish guide as I wanted it to be. Yeah, I deleted the program, but I didn't delete all the stuff I had already downloaded, so whenever I opened it up, it looked the same. But hopefully this will give everybody a good idea of how to use it. And feel free to contact me anytime, and I will do my best to help you in any way I can. So take care, guys.